Honorable Jinapo. He said Indian man claims he bought them. Now, Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapo, has disclosed that 40 of the over 1,300 missing ECG containers have been retrieved after they were traced to an Indian man. Now, an investigative report on the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, uncovered that more than 1,300 containers which were meant to be cleared at the Tema port were unaccounted for. Now, according to Professor Innocence Senor Aqua, chairman of the investigative committee, ECG initially claimed to have 2,491 uncleared containers filled with cables and other essential equipment. However, an independent audit at the port found only some 1,134 containers, leaving some 1,347 missing. Now, speaking in an interview on TV3's News Central, Thursday, March 27th, that's just yesterday, the minister said a foreign national, an Indian man, has been arrested after national security operatives picked intelligence that he was in possession of 40 of the missing containers. Now, John Jinapo revealed that upon interrogation, the Indian claimed that 40 containers were sold to him just last year.
Puerto Rico, China to Cairo. Everybody's talking about the maestro. From New York, KC, the
FM Sunrise.
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
Lord Kenya is an icon. Martina to Zion. Roaring like a lion. Roaring like a lion.
Well, attempt to put some more flesh on the bones. This is a story that keeps developing. And in fact, if you do stick on 3news.com, you've also got another story there. This one says 8 Chinese and a Ghanaian arrested over missing ECG containers. Now, 8 Chinese nationals and a Ghanaian arrested over missing ECG containers at Tema Port. Cables linked to the consignment find at a Chinese-owned smelter in Shai Hills. Now, operatives of the National Security have arrested 8 Chinese nationals and a Ghanaian in connection with the disappearance of ECG containers at Tema Port. Now, the arrest comes after cables believed to be part of the missing consignment were traced to an aluminium smelter owned by Chinese at Shai Hills. So, some way forward being made in this particular saga. We're told 1 Indian man as well as 8 Chinese nationals so far. Well, 6-2 Ulo back in the 3FM hot seat along with Noble Crosby Annan. I say hot seat because this is where the discussions are heated, hot. Progress is made. What a morning it has been. Small digression though. You listen to Honorable Aban as well as Honorable Fuseni having that back and forth. And I know this matter is one that's going to be going back and forth. Certainly, I don't think we'll have a resolution to that. But coming back to this particular issue of some missing ECG containers, we have Dr. Victor Doke on the line to expand the tentacles of this conversation. We'll pick his thoughts on the latest on this issue. Doc, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning to you.
Good morning. I hope you're doing well.
Yes.
Let me get your initial reactions when this story broke. What did you make of that? Over 1,000 ECG containers containing cables gone missing. Now, we know that some progress has been made in the investigations, but your initial thoughts?
Yeah, so my initial thought was, how could this lapses or gap, occur, and in such magnitude? So then, security-wise, where are the mechanisms that have been put in place with regards to containers coming in, the checks that have been done, and then necessary details followed with regards to those who are supposed to receive and pay any amount or whatever to have it cleared or, and what not. Now, so it means that we need to really be very attentive to the way we react to issues such as this with regards to our security. And one would come to ask the question, you have all these personnel at the ports there, including the security intelligence agencies, and you would come to think and ask why and how this incident should have happened and how long has it been going on, and have the culprits even been identified yet? Some have been identified, but the kingpins themselves, we don't know if they are yet to be identified or they've arrested some of them. But it begs to mind that we really have to work at our security apparatus. It's very, very necessary, because you're talking about the port of entry, and then you have, quantum of materials that is costing millions, if not billions, coming in to serve the people, but diverted elsewhere in the hands of foreigners. We are in big trouble if this gap is not bridged, and we come to remodel our security apparatus. We are going to have a problem.
Now, given that introduction that you've given us, what does this case reveal then about the effectiveness and monitoring and accountability mechanisms within state institutions? Because I can hear the alarm in your voice, certainly.
Yeah, so it means, one, all along, the perception that we have with regards to state institutions, i.e. security agencies, is that it's just the normal. Nothing urgent about how to do or how to restructure our approaches. It's just a normal. You're just playing it like the normal things we do every day.
Right.
Now, how would you come to explain that containers have been missing? Was it a deliberate attempt for the containers to now be, shifted in the sense that you wouldn't pay and then you have it demolished? And then, with regards to that aspect also, how do the mechanisms surrounding the demurrage even happen? And who were those in charge to see that the state institution or state agency has its materials cleared? So, a whole lot of questions. Was it a deliberate attempt to have some of these containers go to demurrage so people would take advantage of the lapses and gap in the system and then clear these containers? That is exactly what is going on. Per the answers we are seeing, the evidence we are seeing. So then, investigations have started. The security agencies are on it. I think they should go all out. Nobody should be left if they are found to be culpable. The law must be exhausted, and every person that is involved with regards to this illegality has to be arrested and brought to book.
Now, and thank you for your thoughts on the ECG container matter. On to another subject matter, which the story broke yesterday, one that is of grave concern to the everyday Ghanaian. Now, this one has to do with some intercepted cocaine to the tune of $350 million US. We're told some 3.3 tons en route to Accra from the Western region. This is certainly very alarming. The value alone.
Yes. Now, prior to how our modus operandi works, this one, it's strictly pertaining to the regulations, mechanisms of security of the sea. Now, every vessel that is coming into our waters is identified by the appropriate authorities. So then, if you have this kind of, criminal activity that's gone on, then it means that, yes, you wouldn't have a vessel coming in and docking our waters, except for far away from, our waters, for this illegality to continue. But then it means we also have to take into consideration how we regulate our system, the fisher folks, those who go out from sea. It will be difficult, it will be challenging, but I think something has to, be done about it. Who are those who are going offshore? And then monitoring systems will also have to be enhanced. Are we monitoring those who are close by our waters? Because generally, with regards to criminality at sea, the Gulf of Guinea is no exception, and Ghana is no exception either. So that if we want to get this or nail this in the bud, then I think we have to enhance our monitoring mechanisms. How do we resource the Navy in that regard? Do they need new equipment? Okay, radar systems. Do they need new speedboats, enhanced capacity building for the special squadrons that have been created to tackle and be the first responders of all this, so that if we have any kind of vessel that docks elsewhere, we have the international law to conduct searches. Then other than that, then it means this route and then Ghana per se will be used to convey these kind of drugs. And this is the first of its kind that we have the authorities have arrested. So what if there were others that we didn't see? So we need to enhance our monitoring mechanisms and then, build the capacity of the respondents.
Certainly. And Doc, finally, before I let you go, what is the role then of the everyday Ghanaian in matters such as this? How do we also enhance our own protection? Because the issue of drugs is no small matter. With that comes the element of criminality, arms, and so on and so forth.
So the everyday Ghanaian, now, we mostly, the everyday Ghanaian, the grassroots people, mostly rely on the local authorities, the central government, through the local administration. So then we need to be sensitized more about the ills of doing, illegal activities on high seas. We need to be sensitive about the laws that come to it, and then if anybody is found, will not be spared. Because the fisher folks, they are everyday people, they go on sea, they see certain things. How do we build their capacity for them to come and then report? Okay, so you need that collaboration with these local people. Other than that, then it means the everyday people will just have a vague understanding of how things operate generally in the country.
Sunrise on 3FM.
Need to build their capacity
in the morning.
And through education and sensitization, I think we'll have to do that. Also look in the CSOs, the maritime space, main security space, so that when we are empowered, we have the right knowledge. We know the appropriate steps to take each and every time we see certain things going wrong or suspicions or whatever. We can voluntarily give information for the authorities to act on immediately.
Doc, thank you so much for your time this morning and for contributing to the conversation. That was security lecturer Dr. Victor Doke on this particular subject matter.